Chapter 2: The Cosmogony of the Kabbalah. The Primal Cause. In its most condensed form, the cosmogony of the Kabbalah may be defined as a process of world emanation from nothing, through the form of man, back again to nothing, man being the equilibrating center. In idea it is little removed from the latest conception of science, which looks upon the universe as something which has condensed out of the immaterial into the material, and which in the course of time will be radiated back into immateriality. Further, that the material is only cognizable through the mind of man. The primal cause is called the ayin, oya, the nothing, that is a something which, transcending the human intellect, can only be described negatively. It is so named because we do not know, and it is impossible to know, that which there is in this principle, because it never descends as far as our ignorance and because it is above wisdom itself. Point 1. Out of this nothing emerges as it were the Ein Sof, the endlessness, boundlessness, and eternally of nothing, therefore, in a way, a qualified nothingness. In the book of Job we read, He stretcheth out the north over the empty place, and hangeth the earth upon nothing. 2. It is also called Attica di Attican, the ancient of all the ancients, and Attica Kadasha, the sacred ancient. It is sexless and is sometimes described as the non-ego or not I, the ayin being altogether beyond the I. In the Zohar we read, and there went forth, as a sealed secret, from the head of Ein Sof, a nebulous spark of matter without shape or form, a center of a circle, neither white nor black, neither red, nor green, in fact without any color. 3. This is the Ein Sof or light, not as a contradistinction to darkness, but as a vibration. First, so the symbolism describes, the Ein Sof withdrew itself into itself to form an infinite space, the abyss. In this space appeared a point of light, or life-giving energy, which filled it. The Ein Sof or is, consequently, pictured as contraction and expansion, a sucking in and throwing out within itself. It therefore symbolizes the centripetal and centrifugal energies of creation, which through their rhythm constitute the infinite light out of which the universe is made. This light has been called the idealized blood of the universe. This trinity of primal causes, the ayin, the Ein Sof, and the Ein Sof or, is concealed in the first 3 verses of the book of Genesis, the creation out of God, since everything in the heavens and the earth comes from the nothing, the Spirit of God, and the light which emanated from God's spiritual voice, the totality of the 22 letters, or words, let there be light. The graspable beginning is light, all before it or, so to say, behind or beyond it, is impenetrable mystery, an absolute darkness to the mind. From the Ein Sof or emanates Ihai, Hiha, the I or I am, abstract thought, then YHVH, HVHY, it who was, and is, and will be, thought in time, and lastly Elohim, Milah, God in nature and God in the Bible, in which YHVH, Jehovah or Yahweh, is translated as Lord, the equivalent of Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 23. The Hebrew Adonai, for the true name of Tetragrammaton, YHVH, may not be pronounced. Thus, as the ayin, Ein Sof, and Ein Sof or form a group of 3 unthinkable principles, so do Ihai, YHVH, and Elohim form a group of 3 intelligent principles, abstract thoughts, thought in time and thought in everything, for the whole universe arose out of the voice, the creative instrument, which expressed the ineffable thought of light in the words Yehi or, let there be light. Thus to the Kabbalist the universe is a divine form reflected in a beam of light, a form which will vanish utterly back into the ayin when this beam is cut off. Existence, therefore, is light, perhaps that light which present-day science calls radiation. The Sephirotic Scheme. According to the Zohar, the act of creation took place as follows: when the most mysterious wished to reveal himself, he first produced a single point which was transmuted into a thought, and in this he executed innumerable designs, and engraved innumerable gravings. He further graved within the sacred and mystic lamp a mystic and most holy design, which was a wondrous edifice issuing from the midst of thought. For this edifice is Elohim, the conjunction of the who and the these, as already explained. Again we read, before God created the world, his name was enclosed within him, and therefore he and his name enclosed within him were not one. Nor could this unity be effected until he created the world. Having, therefore, decided to do so, he traced and built, but the aim was not attained until he enfolded himself in a covering of a supernal radiance of thought and created therefrom a world. He produced from the light of that supernal radiance mighty cedars 6 days of creation of the upper world, and placed his chariot on 22 graven letters which were carved in 10 utterances, the numerals or Sephiroth, and infixed there. 5. As long as God's name was enclosed within him, no thingness persisted, for unity can only become perceptible through a difference. This difference was thought, out of which the world was created. Thoughts are expressed in words formed from the alphabet of 22 letters and the numerals 0 to 9. In 32 mysterious paths of wisdom did the Lord write. He created his universe by the 3 forms of expression, numbers, letters, and words. 10 ineffable Sephiroth and 22 basal letters, 3 mothers A, Aleph, Air, M, Mem, Water, W, Sh, Shin, Fire, 7 double BGDKPRTH, and 12 simple letters HVZCHTILNSOTZQ. 6. The single point which was transmuted into a thought is the first Sephiroth 7 Kether, or crown. It is the principle of all the principles, the mysterious wisdom, the crown of all that which there is of the Most High, the diadem of the diadems. 8. The divine name in Kether is Ihai, I am. The Sephirotic Scheme, see plate 2 on page 25, may be condensed as follows. Kether is also called Abba, the Father. It is the will or ego from which the remaining 9 Sephiroth emanate. The second Sephiroth is Binah, the universal intellect or understanding, also called Ima or Mother. Whilst Kether is positive, form, male, Bina is negative and plastic, the receiver of form and, therefore, matter, female, because everything existing can only be the work of the male and female principles. 9. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 24, plate 2, the Tree of Life. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 25. The second emanation from Kether is called Chokmah, wisdom, the word, logos, or sun. It is the male principle in activity, for through it all things are generated. By means of the 32 paths it gives everything, existing, shape and size. 10. This Sephiroth is the Spiritus Mundi. From Chokmah is derived the balance of the Sephiroth, the next 6 of which refer to the dimensions of the universe, length, breadth, and depth, moving as it were outwardly towards the positive and the negative, the male and the female principles each, therefore, in 2 directions. Together they form the 6 faces of a perfect cube. The stone of the wise, the 10th Sephiroth, Makuth, the kingdom, or Sabbath, represents rest, poise, and completion. These first 3 Sephiroth, Kether, Bina, and Chokmah, father, mother, and son, the supernal triad, constitute the intelligible or intellectual world. And since the Holy Ancient is expressed and impressed by 3 Ion, Ansof, and Ansof, or the expression, and Kether, Bina, Chokmah the impression, so also all the lamps that receive their light from the Holy Ancient are triadic. 11. The second triad is called the moral or sensuous world. It is the world soul which emanates from the world spirit, Spiritus Mundi. It consists of the positive or male principle Hesed, which means grace or mercy, also called Gedula, magnificence, and the negative or female principle Pahud, punishment, also called Gabera, severity, and Din, judgment. These 2 unite in the 6th Sephiroth, Tifereth, beauty, the highest manifestation of ethical life, the ideal. The third triad is called the physical or material world and consists of the male or positive Sephiroth Netza, triumph or victory, and the female or negative Hod, glory or splendor. They constitute the arms of God and represent the centripetal and centrifugal energies of the universe, for all the energies, forces, and increase in the universe proceed through them. Point 12. In turn they unite in the Sephiroth Yesod, foundation, the principle of all generation. They represent the deity as the universal power, creator, and generator of all the existences. As this third triad is the Natura Naturans, so is the 10th and last Sephiroth the Natura Naturita, the material world, namely Makuth, TB kingdom. This Sephiroth represents the feet of the heavenly Adam, about whom more anon, his head resting in Kether, and in it the name of the deity is Adonai, the Lord, that is the ineffable YHVH. Makuth is also called the queen, the matronah, the matron, the daughter, bride, the Shekinah, the real presence of the deity, and harmony. Finally we obtain a 4th triad, a synthetic one formed out of Kether, Tifereth, and Makuth. The first influence is the Neshama, the spirit, and moral consciousness, the second influence is the Ruach, the reason, and intellectual faculty, and the third the Nefesh, the instincts, sentiments, and emotions, the animal life in man. Thus from the Ansof or flow out the 10 Sephiroth or principles, hence the decade is considered the perfect number by the Kabbalah, the all-embracing unit emerging from the nothing, 0, I, and the unity which ultimately is to be radiated back into nothingness, I, 0, origin of the Sephiroth. Before we examine each Sephiroth in turn, it may be of some interest to the reader to inquire into the origins of this philosophical system. Though preeminently Jewish, it is nevertheless eminently universal. The word is probably derived from Arpis Sefer, which means to number or to count, and the 10 Sephiroth are frequently abbreviated as SY and Samek plus OD equals 70, the numerical value of DVS Sod, secret, they are consequently occult numbers. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 26. This diagram represents a half-section, divided perpendicularly, of the inverted bowl-shaped universe. Ab, BC, CE, and EG are the 4 worlds. Ab is the father, Anu, or Kether, BC the son, Bel, or Chokmah, CE the mother, Ea, or Bina. Above all is Ao or El, the Ion. A is the zodiac, the great ocean called the deep and the abyss. B is the zone of the fixed stars. A to C is the upper firmament, and C to E the lower firmament. A to B is the zone of the spirits of heaven, and B to C the zone of the planets. C to E is the zone of winds, storms, and clouds. E is the convex hollow earth shell. FF is the concave hollow underworld of 7 zones, realm of the ghost world, and G is the nadir or root. In it are the waters of life and the throne of chaos, and below it are 21 hells. Plate 3, the Chaldean and Hebrew cosmos. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 27. Isaac Meyer finds a remarkable similarity between the cosmos of the Zohar and that of the ancient Chaldeans. He writes, in Ab, BC, CE, and EGC plate 3 on page 27, we have similarities to the 4 worlds. The 3 great heavens answer to the upper 3 Sephiroth. I that of the father Abba, or Kether, the crown, to Anu, afterwards Anna, the place of the ether or highest sublimated air or atmosphere. To the son, Bel, El, or Baal, the sublimated fire, answering to Chokmah, wisdom. 3 the mother, Emma, to Ea, the sublimated water, to Bina, the comprehending intellect. Above all these is Ao, Lo, or El, the unknown ideal deity, which parallels the Ansof, endless, to man's comprehension nothing. This unknown ideal deity held the highest place in the Chaldean mythology. Under these were the 7 planets in their 7 orbits, or spheres, the probable germ of the idea of the Sephiroth, or media between the highest and lowest worlds. 12. Historically interesting as these general origins are, philosophically the most important correspondences are those connected with the Sephirah Hakma, for in many places in the Old Testament and in the New, especially in the works of St. Paul and St. John, is wisdom described as the creative power. The book of Genesis opens with the words, in the beginning, which in Hebrew are rendered by the word Bereshith, which by many Kabbalists is spelled Bereshith, which means through wisdom, or through the word or principle which expresses wisdom, namely the logos of Philo and St. John. A similar idea is found in the Chaldee word Memra, in the Vach of the Rig Veda, Anavar of the Zendavesta, and in the boundless light of latter-day Buddhists. Nebo was the Babylonian god of wisdom, and his planet was Mercury. Moses, the supposed originator of the Kabbalah, was buried on Mount Nebo. Bo, Bod, Bodin, and in China Fo, are all gods of wisdom. Amongst the Buddhists and Brahmins the day of wisdom is Wednesday. Amongst the Scandinavians we have Wo, Wod, and Woden, in Egypt, Thoth, in classical Greece, Hermes, and among the Romans, Mercury, all gods of wisdom, whose day is the fourth day of the week, Wednesday, upon which God created lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. 13. Wisdom is not only the creator of the universe but also the mediator between the uncreated and the created, God and man. In the form of Hakma, the son of Kether, wisdom renders comprehensive the abstract thought in an association of ideas. Philo names it Messiah, and St. John Christ. St. Paul says, "But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom, which God ordained before the world unto our glory, which none of the princes of this world knew, for had they known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory." 14. Referring to Christ as the Son, this same apostle says, "Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature, for by him were all things created, that are in heaven, and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones, or dominions, or principalities, or powers, all things were created by him, and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things exist." 15. Many other comparisons could be given, but the above must suffice to show how deep-rooted are the origins of the Sephirotic scheme, and how surely they have branched upwards into the mystical foundations of Christianity. The 10 Sephiroth. 1. Ruk Kether, the crown. As we have explained, this first Sephirah represents I am as being. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 28. That is as pure existence. It is neither positive nor negative, but plus or minus, and though sexless it is androgynous. Though the primordial point of light, it is nevertheless the circumference of all things, the center of which is nowhere because it is in nothing, containing all the potency of tetragrammaton, YHVH, it is simultaneously past, present, and future. In the letter OD, which corresponds to it, is enclosed the immanence of the 10 Sephiroth. Frequently it is called the Ancient of the Ancients, the Ancient, or the Ancient of Days. For instance, in the book of Daniel we read, "I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, his throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire." 16. Kether is also called the white head, the long face, Macroprosopis, and Adam Kadmon or Adamilia, the supernal or primordial or heavenly Adam. The remaining Sephiroth are the short face. In the angelic order, Kether is represented by the beasts of Ezekiel, the holy living creatures of the chariot throne, namely the 4 cherubim, the eagle, man, lion, and bull, which represent the 4 elements air, smell, water, taste, fire, sight, and earth, touch. Also it includes in its mysterious nature the 4 letters of tetragrammaton as follows, Y, lion, H, man, V, eagle, and H, bull. But as in itself Kether is also the Shekinah, the glory of God, in it is hidden the Shin, W, which symbolizes spirit. As the Ansof is represented by the closed eye, so is Kether represented by the open eye. Compare the eye of Shiva in Hindu mythology. As long as this eye remains open the universe is maintained in being, but when it shuts it vanishes into non-being, that is no-thingness. In the threefold division of man's nature, Kether represents the Neshama or spirit. 2. Rnyb Bina, mind. This Sephirah is sometimes placed second and sometimes third, and it is generally called the understanding. It is feminine and negative, the matter, as it were, in which Kether can take form and propagates itself. Bina is often called the Heavenly Mother or Holy Spirit. Her letter is H, He, the numerical value of which is 5. Bina possesses 50 gates, which is symbolical of the He multiplied by the Od. Her symbol is the dove, her dimension is depth, whilst Kether's is length. Compare the lingam and yoni in Hindu mythology, and her color is sky blue, the color of the Virgin Mary. From the union between Kether and Bina emanates Hakma. 3. HMKC Hakma, wisdom. The third Sephirah is the sun or logos and the firstborn. It represents abstract ideas, the fruit of the I am forming in the mind. In the Kabbalah it is often called, the only begotten Son. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. 17. Here we have presented to us the logos nature of Hakma. Its color is yellow or red-orange, the color of Christ, it is positive and male, and its letter is V. Va equals 6, which multiplied by the 50 gates of Bina reveals W, Shin equals 300, the glory of God. The final H, He, of Tetragrammaton represents the remaining 7 Sephiroth. This revelation of the Shin shows the triadic nature of the first 3 Sephiroth which constitute the intellectual world, and it closely relates it to many mysteries. Thus, in YDW Shaddai, Almighty, the name of the deity before he revealed himself is YHVH. The Shin comes first, in Messiah, HYWM, and the exoteric Jesus, OVY, it comes second, in the esoteric Yeshua, HVWHY, it comes in the middle, and in Serpent, WHK, it comes last. In Yeshua it is the letter of mercy, for it is the central equilibrating fire, in all the others it is the letter of wrath, for it is out of equilibrium, and particularly so in Shaddai and the Serpent. In actual conception these three Sephiroth form a trinity in unity of knowledge, that which knows and that by which it is known, they unite in themselves everything and are themselves united to the no-thing. 4. DSC, Hizd, grace, love, mercy, or compassion. From Chokmah emanate 6 Sephiroth. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah page 29 which, as we have explained, symbolize the dimensions of matter. Hizd is the right arm of macrocosmos, it endows the world with feeling and sentiment. 5. DHP, Pahud, rigor, punishment, fear, or severity. This Sephiroth is the left arm of macrocosmos. It is feminine and passive, as Hizd is masculine and active. As Hizd symbolizes life, so does Pahud symbolize death. 6. Putifireth, beauty. This Sephiroth is the common center or harmony of Hizd and Pahud, of life and death, the active and passive in the moral world. Its symbol is the sun, the heart of the universe and also the heart of Adam Kadmon, the supernal atom. Tifereth is the seat of sentiment and the ethical qualities, it is inhabited by the Ruach, the reasoning soul. 7. CXN Netza, triumph, firmness, or victory. This is the first of the 3 energetic principles. It represents the right leg and thigh of macrocosmos. 8. DVH Had, splendor, or glory. This is the left leg and thigh of macrocosmos. By triumph and glory, we comprehend extension, multiplication, and force, because all the forces which were born into the universe went out of their bosom, and it is for this reason, that these 2 Sephiroth are called, the armies of YHVH. 18. 9. DVSY Yezid, foundation. This Sephiroth is the seat of the generative principle. Everything shall return to its foundation, from which it has proceeded. All marrow, seed, and energy are gathered in this place. 19. 10. Of Makath, kingdom, or dominion. As Kether is the harmony at the beginning, so is Makath the harmony at the end, the first the head and the last the feet of Adam Kadmon. The divine name attached to this Sephiroth is Adonai, the Tetragrammaton. Makath is also called the Queen, Shekinah, and Hava, Eve. It is the seat of the Nefesh, the instincts, and its angel is Metatron, the angel of the covenant, the letters of whose name equal in numerical value those of Shaddai, namely 314. Behold, I send an angel before thee, to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. 20. The Tree of Life. The 10 Sephiroth when combined with the 22 letters form what is known as the Tree of Life, which constitutes the framework of Adam Kadmon, the heavenly Adam, similar in anatomy to his human counterpart, the earthly Adam. Man is a combination of 3 spheres of force, the intellectual, the moral, and the physical, which are related to the Neshama, Ruach, and Nefesh. These forces, or qualities, find their activity in the outer or material world, which is alone cognizable and, therefore, existent to man because of his threefold constitution. Like the body of man, the Tree of Life is itself divided horizontally into 4 planes, see Plate 4 on page 31, and vertically by 3 trunks or pillars, see Plate 4 on page 32. The central pillar, known as harmony, or mildness, or sometimes as the perfect pillar, consisting of Kether, Tifereth, Yezid, and Makath, is the Tree of Life as mentioned in the book of Genesis. The right-hand pillar, that of Chokmah, Hizd, and Netza H, is active, male, and positive, and is called the Pillar of Mercy, whilst that of Binah, Pahud, and Had is passive, female, and negative, and is called the Pillar of Justice. These 2 pillars constitute the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because they are made up of unbalanced forces which can only find equilibrium in the central trunk or pillar. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah page 30 Plate 4, the 4 planes of the Tree of Life. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah page 31 Plate 4, the 3 pillars of the Tree of Life. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah page 32 The active mood of the divine light enters the right-hand pillar through Chokmah, and the passive mood enters through Binah, the union of these 2 lights creating the central pillar, the word, or logos. The formulation of this word, by balancing the moods of light, constitutes the great magical work of the Kabbalah. To the student of the occult it will be apparent that these 2 trees closely resemble the letter Shin, also the caduceus of Hermes with its central rod and its 2 entwined serpents, and also the Ida, Pingla, and central Shushumna of Hindu yoga. The whole scheme is symbolized in the Temple of Solomon, the temple itself being the central pillar, whilst its 2 pylons, Yakin and Boaz, the white and the black, the right and the left, represent the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the eternal complementary forces in life without which nothing can be. This symbolism is an excessively ancient one thus, in the Norse mythology we find the mystic tree Yggdrasil, the roots of which are in the material world and the branches of which reach up to Asgard, the happy dwelling of the gods. Again, amongst the Akkadians, Chaldeans, and Babylonians we find the world tree, or tree of life, which stood midway between the deep and Zekum, the primordial heaven above. In Hindu mythology there is also a world tree, the Lingaman in Buddhist the Bodhi tree, or tree of wisdom under which Buddha sat in meditation. Finally, that masterpiece of Gothic architecture, the cathedral, probably finds its origin in the tree trunks and overhanging branches of the forest glade. The four worlds. Thus far the Sephirotic scheme may be considered as simple, but in its extended form it grows complex, for not only is the tree of life divided into 3 planes which become 4 in Makath, but it is projected from the Godhead through 4 worlds, each containing a tree of 10 Sephiroth, and each Sephiroth containing within itself 10 of these intelligences, each of which is threefold in nature, for as it is written, just as the ancient is represented by the number 3, so are all the other lights of a threefold nature. 21 in all there are, therefore, 400 Sephiroth in the world scheme, and as 400 is the numerical value of U, Tau Th, the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, 400 completes the cycle of the creative voice or logos. As the threefold order is intellectually important, so is the fourfold order physically important, the two multiplied together making 12 and representing the zodiac, see plate V on page 34, the 12 months of the year, etc., and consequently the entire creative cycle symbolized by 2 interlaced 6-pointed stars or seals of Solomon, the one being the great work below and the other the great work above. There are 4 manifestations: the nothing, the intellectual world, the sensuous world, and the physical world, also the 4 elements air, fire, water, and earth, the 4 living beasts of the chariot throne, and the 4 letters in the name of Tetragrammaton. In the Zohar we read, the firmament is imprinted, at the 4 corners of a square, with 4 figures, of a lion, an eagle, an ox, and a man, and the face of a man is traced in all of them, so that the face of lion is of man, the face of eagle is of man, and the face of ox is of man, all being comprehended in him. 22 Hence the 4 great Kabbalistic worlds together form a unit, a single great man, the macro-cosm, or Adamilia, the archetypal man, the form of the universe through which is manifested the divine essence of the Ein Sof. Their names are, I, Atziluth or the Atziluthic world, the archetypal world or world of emanations, the 10 Sephiroth of which represent the operative qualities of the divine will. This world is also called the Great Seal, for it stamps out in its own form the 3 inferior worlds. It is the abode of Adam Kadmon. 2. Brya or the Bryatic world, the world of creation, the 10 Sephiroth of which represent the abode of pure spirits, consequently it contains no matter. It is the dwelling of the angel Metatron and constitutes the world of angels or spirits. As Adam Kadmon is the form of the Ein Sof, Metatron is his garment, and under his command come the myriads of the angelic hosts of the next world. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 33, plate 5, the Zodiacal. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 34, 3, Yetzirah or the Yetziratic plate. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 34, 3, Yetzirah or the Yetziratic world, the world of formation, the 10 Sephiroth of which represent the angels or intelligences of the stars and planets. The Zohar says, for the servants Sephiroth that serve the holy, blessed be he. It made the throne the Bryatic world, and 4 supports pillar of mildness and 6 steps pillars of mercy and justice to the throne, together 10. The whole is like a cup of blessing. See Diagram 2. Diagram 2, the Kabbalistic chalice. Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah, page 35, that which is in the 10 words, like the Torah which is given in 10 words, and as the universe, which is the Maseh Bereshith, which has been created by 10 sayings. The holy, blessed be he. Affixed to the throne legions to serve it the 10 angelic hosts of this world. And for the service of these, the holy, blessed be he. Made Samuel and his legions, who are as it were the clouds to be used to come down upon the earth. And they are the horses, and above the cloud is the Merkabah, the chariot throne, therefore it is said Isaiah 19, I, behold YHVH rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Mitzrayim Egypt. And so the holy, blessed be he, rules Mitzrayim. 23 This world is seemingly the abode of Tetragrammaton. 4. Asaya or the Asiatic world, the world of action, also called the world of Qliphoth, that is the world of shells or demons. In its 10 Sephiroth lives the actual material substance of the universe. It is the abode of Samuel, the prince of darkness. It is subject to change, birth, death, corruption and rebirth, yet not anything in it is considered as ever totally annihilated or destroyed in essence or atom. It is the abode of the evil spirit and his demoniacal forces. 24 Such are the 4 worlds. In the simple Sephirotic scheme the first is referred to Kether, Chokmah, and Bina, the second to Hesed, Pahud, and Tifereth, the third to Netzah, Hod, and Yezid, and the fourth to affix to the throne legions to serve it the 10 angelic hosts of this world. And for the service of these, the holy, blessed be he. Made Samuel and his legions, who are as it were the clouds to be used to come down upon the earth. And they are the horses, and above the cloud is the Merkabah, the chariot throne, therefore it is said Isaiah 19, I, behold YHVH rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Mitzrayim Egypt. And so the holy, blessed be he, rules Mitzrayim. 25 This world is seemingly the abode of Tetragrammaton. Such are the 4 worlds. In the simple Sephirotic scheme the first is referred to Kether, Chokmah, and Bina, the second to Hesed, Pahud, and Tifereth, the third to Netzah, Hod, and Yezid, and the fourth to Makath. Also, in Genesis I, let there be light, refers to the Atziluthic world, Elohim saw the light, that it was good, refers to the Bryatic world, Elohim divided the light from the darkness, refers to the Yetziratic world, and Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night, refers to the Asiatic world. Thus the whole process of creation is the evolution of light, from an absolute quality to a tangible quality, from what is incomprehensible to what is comprehensible, from what is from God and beyond man to what is of God and within man, for all and everything is light in varying forms of density or purity. From light we come and unto light we go, the great Kabbalistic secret being the transmutation of darkness, light in its material form into illuminism, that is light in its spiritual form. Such is the grand telisma of the world.